Timing of the release of your product. So it seems that it hits in bunches, then there's a lag, and there's bunches again.
Want to start? Yeah, I think in general we plan our products well in advance. So we have a calendar year of where the products are going to fall in place. And there could be a variety of issues. It doesn't work out as planned. You know, we in sales, our motivation is to tell marketing, ideally this would maximize sales volume and increase our possibility of having ultimate secondary market value and brand equity based on the competitive landscape and a lot of things. But what can influence that are autograph deals that don't happen when we expect them to. And we don't want to put out a product that has a lot of redemptions in it. We might hear from our operations team that if we wait 2 weeks, we'll have a redemption-free product, which sometimes might be the best decision. Sometimes it might not. So our intentions are to deliver products when we say we're going to, but to give you a better product, sometimes we make the call to delay something based on something that's relevant to what's going on in our business.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. When we make our calendar, we usually plan a year in advance. For sure, our calendar doesn't have 3 products launching in 2 weeks. I mean, I think we've gotten better in terms of minimizing that, but that's never done intentionally. So just so you know, that's not intentional. There's no genius marketing strategy behind it. That's just poor execution. Typically, you know, we balance the calendar. We look at the hobby, we look at retail, we look at high end, we look at low end, and we try and balance our calendar to what we think is the best for the collectors, for the hobby, to maximize the category. There are some products that hinge on prospects, so those have to go later because the prospects come up. There are some products that hinge on specific things that force their timing. Sometimes higher end products take longer to make, so they're typically towards the back end of the year. So we take a lot of time balancing the calendar. We take a lot of time thinking about where products should hit. Being one manufacturer allows, I think, someone asked the question in terms of is one better than two. One of the things one allows for, it allows, I think, for a smarter calendar in total for everyone, because when you have two, you know, if we're doing high end and UD's doing high end and we don't know it, and then they both launch together, it kills the market. When you have one person, assuming they know what they're doing and they're smart, you have a better chance of controlling the calendar, which I think provides a better opportunity for everyone to have a more balanced launch plan. So those are, I don't know that we answered your question, but intentionally we don't launch together. But there are realities, like David said. I mean, there are real realities, and it's not as if we're being lackadaisical or it's not as if we're not trying, but you know, we just got a call that our printer, we have printers printing our cards, they printed a sheet and it was wrong. Like, that was never expected in our wildest imagination. Now, all of a sudden, you know, we need to reprint the sheet. We got to go out and get them signed. So the business is complicated. I'm not making excuses. We haven't been great. I think we're getting better, but we're not perfect. But it's a complicated business, whether it be our own fault, whether it be not getting, you know, players assigned, et cetera, that make it complicated, that cause some shipping. It's not like I used to work at Kraft Foods. You know, we made Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers aren't that complicated. You get a cutter, you get the dough, and you go through. I mean, so, and even at that, we screwed up, and we had products that were late, and we screwed up UPC codes and blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm not looking to make excuses, but this is a complicated business, and sometimes unexpected things happen. Sometimes we do screw up, and it causes things in the calendar, but it's never intentional. We always try to make it the best we can.
And Mark coined the phrase, everything tastes better when it's on a Topps card.
All right, we'll take a couple more questions, and then I have a bunch of more stuff to give away. So,
the young guy.
Yeah. Let's take some questions from the kids. Yeah, the Blue Jays hat.
Thank you. I'm just wondering how you guys consider the secondary market when you guys are producing cards, and how you try to appeal to people that are looking to sell in the secondary market, if you're not effective for those kind of people.
Yeah, good question.
How do we, when we look at the secondary market, I mean, it's a real breathing, living, you know, organism, which is a very important part of this category. But when we build our products and we look at how much demand we're going to try to put into the marketplace, I mean, the key, and one of the things we do from a distribution standpoint is to try to understand what the supply and demand ratio is based upon all the factors that we know from that particular product. We look at histories of that product, we look at what the expectations are for upcoming players, we think who the drivers are going to be, where it's going to be driven, how that time period is going to be, what's going to be released within that marketplace. And then we try to put out a product that's distributed properly and that's produced properly to the right quantity. If and when we do that, our products will perform on the secondary market. A lot of times products lose their secondary market value because A, it's either just not a good product, or B, the demand and supply ratio was incorrect at that time, or C, there was too many products, to your point, a glut of products, where there just wasn't enough cash flow to purchase all the products on the secondary market, and you would see a product that would ultimately suffer for it. So there's a lot of things that go into it. Proper planning is really the key in order to make sure that you maximize the equity to a certain extent by maintaining a profitable above market price in the secondary market.
And in addition to that, we also basically have a report card that we all get on basically a weekly basis that lists all of our products, secondary market values, all of our competitive products, and a lot of other information about the breakdown of the products, so that we're very knowledgeable about the marketplace. And that is a big indicator of setting up the brand for next year and setting up the next following brand in the month and in the schedule. So we take it. Our belief is that the market will dictate how our product performs, but we will take that information and use that to build better products.
One more. The other guy. Go ahead.
How did Tops as a company make investments and decisions that allowed it to weather the storm of the financial downturn?
Greenspan.
And that's an outstanding question. We have an economist here in the making. I've been through several different cycles with the company, and when you have a downturn, like we saw in 2008, where the bottom basically fell out, it's a huge adjustment period in a very short period of time. When you know that your volumes are coming down, you have to look at every single area of profit within your business. You have to look at overhead reductions. You have to look at payroll reductions. You have to look at trying to leverage your vendors to give you better prices for your corrugated, for your cardboard, for your printing. You need to be more efficient on every single level when you print your products. You need to make sure that you maximize every area of that business. You have to look at your marketing spend. You have to spend money where it's going to give you the most bang for the buck, and in certain cases it's going to be less money. And it's a very, very trying time, because as you're trying to put products into the market and you see your demands go down and you see less cash flow being infused in the market, and even products don't do as well on the secondary market with rather low production runs, you have to really seriously look at your entire business and make some very, very painful cuts at all levels. But the main thing is you have to be a team. You have to be a family within the organization, because it's a very, very hard time. It's a hard time for everybody. And each person is asked to work a whole lot harder and is asked to make a whole lot more sacrifices in order for you to be successful. You have to stick together as a team. And having gone through what we've recently gone through in 2008 and come out on the other side of the bubble with what's taking place right now with Strasbourg, it's just a wonderful, wonderful time to be involved in this category, in this industry. It's very, very rare that you can go from 2008 to where we are now in 2010 and just see such a huge cyclic change. And it's very exciting for us. And we as a company, we're running down the hallways high-fiving each other because of the excitement that's been infused in the category.
Just to add to that too, I remember when that happened. It takes a mental toll on you. We're literally around the corner from Wall Street. So we would go outside every day and you'd just see it looked like it was the end of the world.
And you'd have to duck the people jumping out of the building.
And it was a tough time. And like John said, you get tighter and you stick together as a team and you go through the war and you battle it out and you hope that at the end you get good results. And now we're having a nice time. But I'm sure at one point in the future, not saying the economy is going to get the way it is, or it was, or it still is right now, but like you said, things go in cycles. It could happen.